Hey guys, welcome to DroningON Live. It's an exciting day today because DJI have a new product coming out. We think it's the Osmo Pocket 2. We're going to be finding out in very, very short time. Enjoy the show, guys. Hey guys, welcome to DroningON Live. It's going to be a very exciting show this time because for the first time in DroningON history, I've got some random guests with me as well. And these guys, I think you'll recognize their names because they're all over the community in the drone and the camera space. And so they're also DroningON channel members. And therefore I thought it's a great opportunity to give them an opportunity to be part of this exciting day. We've got so many people in the chat. We've got over 100 people watching at the moment as well. And the first thing I want to do is welcome Mark Green as our latest channel member. And I've got a goal, right? Channel membership is new for DroningON. I really, really want to get at least 5 new members during this stream. And there's tons of perks as a member. Click the little join button below to see what you get as a member. Mark's enjoying those right now, and hopefully he's joining our private Discord server so that he can chat behind the scenes with the guys who are going to be on the show, and also the other DroningON members. Plus, he's got access to a ton of other stuff. But anyway, it is launch day today. You can see from the countdown up there that in just 15 minutes, DJI will be launching a new product. I think it's probably a good time to introduce the other people on the stream. So I've got with me the guys that, as I said, are channel members. They are very interactive in the community. These guys are great, and it's lovely as a content creator when you actually recognize names when somebody comments on a video that you've put live. And as soon as I started the channel memberships, these guys were very, very kind to support the channel by joining. And what a greater opportunity than to let them participate in stuff like this as a channel member. So I'm going to hopefully bring them in right now. There they are. Hey! So who've we got here? Well, let's start. We've basically got Chuck Kovac. Now, if you don't recognize his name, he's always commenting on everything. This guy never sleeps. If you love Lake Placid and random places like that, then Chuck is definitely the channel to take a look at. Mike, do you want to say hello? Introduce yourself.
Good morning. Yeah, my name's Mike Miller. On my channel, I tend to feature anything ship and boat related. I love flying ships. I love flying over the water. That's what you're going to find on my channel. In fact, my newest video just came up, and as a plug to being an ambassador on DroningON, before putting my video up, I posted it on our Discord channel and got all kinds of input help from not only Ash, but also all the other members that are on the channel, which really helped me to improve my video by tenfold at least. I mean, it came out so much better than what I had originally planned with their help. So good reason and a good perk for being a DroningON ambassador. So my link in the description.
Good man. Nice one. And we've got Keith, who's in that side. He's got a great channel called The K-Spot. Keith, do you want to quick say hello?
Hey guys, my name's Keith. As I said, I run a small YouTube channel called The K-Spot. It's all about photography, drones, cameras, and the odd travel vlog here and there, because I live in Thailand, so it's quite an interesting country to live in, quite picturesque, and it's cool for drone flying and capturing all those really nice shots. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. So yeah, come over to my channel, check me out if you have a moment, and if you're into that kind of thing.
Nice one. Thank you very much, Keith. And I just also have to say thanks to Robert Portelli for joining as a channel member. So that's really good. We've now already got 2 new members on our progress to 5. So thank you very, very much. So we do have 10 minutes until the launch of this new product, which we're pretty sure is the Osmo Pocket 2. The reason we're so sure largely is because of the FCC entry that's appeared that shows Pocket 2. Also, the teaser trailer that you'll remember that came out last week, everything about it says it's in your pocket, it's a camera. So again, it just reinforces that whole point. So I thought it'd be good to talk about just before the new product arrives, talk about the original Osmo Pocket, which was a very, very popular device for DJI. Seriously popular. It sold very, very well.
What are you talking about?
So which of you have the Osmo Pocket 1, the original one? Which of you guys have got one now?
Of course, yeah, of course. I don't leave home without this thing.
There we go. So what is the biggest complaint that you've got about it? We'll talk about your complaints first, and they'll probably match my list here.
It's the gimbal wheel. It's the control of the gimbal wheel. It's the sore spot, I think, is this wheel.
Yeah.
Because you have to flip from left to right to up down. And you can't get nice cinematic smooth shots unless you're using like a joystick. And it sounds like that might be what's coming. Along with maybe a bigger sensor, which is also a sore spot in low light.
Yeah, I mean, I think a joystick's an interesting idea, but I think it will still be very hard. The reason is, for my flight simulator playing around, I've got a little rocker hat joystick on that to control the view where you're looking in the cockpit. And I find it so hard to be granular on a little joystick like that.
Well, I have no problem with that. It's the switch when you flip left, right, up, down, and I keep going backwards. I'll go to pan left and I'll pan to the right. So the joystick would be more intuitive. Yeah. I think on the fly, when you're nervous, you're trying to get that moment, because this thing's about moments, man. It's like it's so small, you carry it anywhere and you can grab stuff, just boom.
Yeah, that's really true, actually. So I mean, the joystick, that's interesting that that's your biggest complaint. Keith, what about yours?
For me, it's the focusing when it's in face tracking mode. In certain modes, even though it's tracking your face, it doesn't focus on you. Now, if it's tracking your face, it's kind of a given that you want it to focus on your face, and you can't see that in the small screen. Now, I kind of built a vlogging rig with this thing, and I thought, well, I'm not going to complain about the small screen because I like the size of it. But it's when I thought I could mount my phone on there, but you can't use the Wi-Fi and the external sound together. So it's the focusing. If they can fix the focusing, I think this will be near damn perfect for the sort of travel blogger.
On that comment, I've had the face tracking kick in when I try to do some in-car shots of me and my wife when we're just driving along, and the face tracking will lock in on me, and I can't just have it center the shot with us.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
No, you're right. Because when I was filming a vlog, and I wanted to show the dog in the back, and I lifted the camera over the thing's tracking.
Yeah, and it follows you. Yeah, that's frustrating.
You have to kind of turn it off. It would be nice if you had the option to switch that off easily.
And you do remember that when it very, very first came out, one of the biggest challenges was that annoying focus pulse as well. They did fix that, but the face tracking, like you say, just wasn't always perfect, was it?
No, it's
still wonky. It's still a bit wonky, but it's much better.
I had some issues with it when I was recently away. I had to use the footage because I didn't have any other footage, but it was annoying because it was less than perfect. And to me, as I said, it's if you're in face tracking, if you are tracking the face, why wouldn't you want the face in focus and not? You don't want the background in focus. So
exactly.
That's my biggest annoyance of it. But it's still an awesome little device. I mean, the fact that you can pull this out of your pocket and start filming, there's no balancing, there's no adjusting and all that kind of stuff. It's out your pocket, turn it on, away you go. And if you have a
VND,
yes, if you've got the variable ND, which I've got on here now, it's brilliant.
Oh, you poser!
Bam!
I just want to say thank you very much, Fobek, for the 20 sec super chat. That's really, really cool. Thank you very much. I remember when I was very, very lucky because back then DJI appreciated us content creators, and they actually sent us products pre-release. So I had the Pocket about 2 or 3 months before it came out. And the video, I remember walking through Bristol city centre with this Pocket, and obviously no one's allowed to see it. Oh, look at my little baby there as well.
This was the beer.
You know what I'd like to see? Face tracking for more than one person. Now, nobody understood this when I complained about this, but by that, I mean, if there's 2 people in the shot, it will keep both people centered as much as it can. Now, obviously, if the 2 people part, that's not going to work. But that was one of the features I'd like. But the other thing, one of the other big complaints about the Osmo Pocket was battery life. Now, I never understood this, and I was actually sent this for review, which is an extended battery pack. And you know what? It's not even opened. I've never ever needed it because the battery just lasted so long for me. What do you guys think about battery?
I struggle with the battery. I think I leave the thing on too much, personally. And the Wi-Fi adapter, the fact that it's not built in, seems to consume juice, excessively as well.
Yeah.
Which may be part of my problem.
I did wonder if maybe... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, the only good thing about the Wi-Fi adapter is at least you can still power and charge the thing. So if you've got a little battery pack, you can charge it, but you can't plug the external microphone in. via the Wi-Fi module. So you really only have the choice of one or the other. So built-in Wi-Fi on the next one would be a massive plus.
Oh, I agree.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it? The fact that the first one didn't have built-in Wi-Fi, I think, was a massive omission, as was a tripod mount. You have to use these third-party tools, which is just ridiculous, and just in order to put it on a tripod. But
yeah, I'm using this thing right here.
There we go. Yeah,
and it has the 1/4-20 on the side, and but it holds the Wi-Fi, and it gives you a good base to stand it up and do hyperlapses, but time lapse.
But you know why I think they didn't do it? You'll find that tripod mounts are actually quite heavy. The actual metallic inside, and I think the weight, and also with the battery in there, that's why they couldn't build it in. And I don't think the new one has it built in either. We will see. I think.
I will say one thing about that Wi-Fi module. Yeah. It works every time. It's so reliable.
It is really good.
I've never had an issue connection to it. I mean, I've got a Sony A6400 here. Yeah. Connecting to that thing is hit and miss at best. And it's about 5 times the cost of this thing. Whereas this, it's almost instant. You're connected and away you go. It's better than GoPro, and GoPro's pretty good. But this, so reliable.
Probably a bit more reliable than the Wi-Fi on the Osmo Action, which is just so unreliable.
Yeah, I've heard.
Really
I thought my issue with that, not that we should be, I know that's not topic of discussion, but the aluminum cage I bought for mine, well, for my wife's actually.
Yeah.
I think it blocks the signal.
Ah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Just to say, guys, there is a live poll in the chat window now. If you click that link, you can vote live during this stream, and this is pretty cool. The guys don't know about this yet, you guys, but this is quite funky. We're going to be showing the results during the stream. So here you can see there's been 6 votes already. Oh, 9, 10, yeah, 10 votes already. 11 votes. It's live, so we can actually keep it going. Just to see who will buy this product or not. There's only 2 minutes to go before it's out. And isn't it great watching this move in real time? Because I think the big problem I've got, the dilemma I have is I love the Osmo Pocket, the original. I haven't really ever needed desperately to have more than the original Osmo Pocket can do. For the guys in the stream, so Keith, you've got one, and Chuck, you've got one. What does the new one have to have in order for you to actually buy it? So Chuck first, perhaps. All right. And Keith, what about you? Right. Sounds good. We can only hope, can't we? We've only got 1 minute 43 left. Just one of the other big issues, I think, with the original Osmo Pocket as well, for me at least, I can't plug this into my laptop and use it as a webcam. And with COVID and coronavirus, everybody needs a webcam. What a waste of a beautiful sensor, lovely quality image, and even face tracking if you could just plug this into a computer and use it as a webcam. Would you guys use that?
Hey, Ash, just real quick. People in the chat are saying that we have no sound again. Can you guys hear us now that we've gone all back on the screen?
I didn't add your audio into the poll screens. Sorry, guys. When I switch to the poll, you can't hear them. I'll fix that later. Sorry.
Oh.
But
well, I hope they can read lips.
Lip reading.
You'll have to add closed captions later, Ash, for the plate.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll add subtitles. We've got
subtitles.
50 seconds left, guys. Isn't this exciting? Let's have a quick look at the web browser. Let's see where we stand at the moment. Here we go. 37 seconds. Oh, this is exciting. So, as I said before, that because of COVID and coronavirus, we're not going to get a live event here, sadly. We're probably just simply going to get this page switching to be a video, unfortunately. But we're all here together watching it right now. There are 306 people watching concurrently. This is only the 3rd stream on Droning On, but that's a record. Hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this, by the way, guys. 5 seconds. Now, I've seen this before where it flicks to 0 and nothing happens. So, learn more. Here we go. Okay, nothing yet.
Oh,
come on, DJI. Somebody in DJI hasn't flicked the switch, I think. No.
might be on a separate video.
Yeah. Well, most of the time it updates, but let's have a look at the DJI.com website. Now, this is the really sad thing about having no event. Here we go. Osmo Pocket 2. Yay! And this is the page we've got. Now, there's probably a video here somewhere, but at the moment, this is just a web page that as you scroll through, it animates and shows you some detail. So what have we got?
That looks like the Mavic Air 2 sensor, doesn't it?
It does look bigger. I think we've got a half-inch sensor. So we've got pocket size again. No, Active Track 3.0 is a really good thing to see. Obviously, that's the same Active Track as the Mavic Air 2. However, Active Track 3 on the Pocket is not necessarily going to be the same as Active Track 3 on a drone. AI editor, so that's an app thing. Excellent image quality. That must mean it doesn't say half-inch sensor, and if that was a key feature, it would be here.
For
We
sure.
do have stereo sound. That's interesting, but for
Ooh,
most
nice.
vloggers wouldn't use that though. Stereo sound. What do you guys think about stereo sound? Is that appealing to you guys?
When
It's
you
nice,
talk, are you talking? Sorry, Chuck. Go on. You
No,
go.
Keith, I talked over you. Go right ahead, sir.
I was going to say, when you're saying, when it says stereo sound, is that forward and facing sound and sort of, rear facing sound, if you like? If it's got microphones on both the front and the back, that could be quite useful, I suppose, if you have control over it.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Can
true.
I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you use the microphone on it, or do you use an external microphone?
I, for the most part, use the external microphone. I have done a couple of vlogs where I've used the sound on it, and it's not bad. It was terrible when it first came out, but they released a firmware update that improved it quite a lot, actually. No, I tend to use external sound. I've got a Video Go, and sometimes I plug in the wireless Go as well.
I figured that would make the built-in speakers, the stereo speakers on it, kind of useless, since most people are going to use external speakers or external microphones anyway.
Guys,
Well,
sorry to break you up. Bear with me one sec. We've got a video, so let's just put this full screen for everybody watching. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the video, guys.
I can't tell if the body's wider than the one.
What do people think in the chat? What are you guys thinking? We've got so many people watching. Do those features really, really make you want to buy it if you've already got the Osmo Pocket 1? And if you haven't got it, would you buy it now if you haven't got the Osmo Pocket 1? I think the key features there that we see, the 4x digital zoom, it's not going to be optical, I don't believe. It doesn't look like it's a zoom-capable camera unit, that. So 4x digital zoom. Bigger sensor. It didn't say half-inch. Did anyone catch what sensor it actually had? Sorry.
No, it just said bigger.
Bigger means not half-inch. I think.
Hard to say. I was going to say, Mike, about the audio. I actually use the built-in mic all the time, and the stereo wouldn't do much for me as a selling point, but it's nice to have for spatialness when you do use voice.
Like to see people are disappointed with digital zoom.
Yeah, digital zoom. You know, I put out a video on this the other day, guys, and if you haven't seen it, please watch it. Digital zoom is not really a good idea unless you're the type of person that wants no editing. You just want to edit and send it to somebody. Don't use digital zoom because you limit your options later. Instead, capture it at full aspect ratio in full resolution and then crop it later in post-editing, because then you leave your options open.
Yeah, keep all your pixels.
Exactly. Well, what about the FOV? So the FOV on the original one was 80 degrees. This is 93. Now that's a massive advantage because the FOV was way too narrow on the original Osmo Pocket. So that's a key take home for me. But it's
a
not
big
enough to
one,
make me
for
switch.
Sure. Not enough to make a switch.
I saw in the another leaked ad, there's a possible wide-angle lens attachment on it too.
Yeah, there
Nice.
is. I'm looking at it now.
So that's knocking that won't be that will upset Freewell and all the third parties, unfortunately, who produce accessories for cameras like this.
Looking at this, the original accessories are compatible. So the original controller wheel looks to be compatible with it.
So maybe the new joysticks. Oh, I talked over you, Keith. The new joystick might work with the existing Osmo Pocket. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Now, just going through these specs, that's disappointing. The slow motion is exactly the same as far as I'm aware. It was always 180 at 1080p and only 8 times. I think they could have really, really done better there. The other massive disappointment is they've increased the sensor size, but the video bit rate is the same. I believe it was 100 megabits per second for the original Pocket. That's a big shame.
Here's another thing. They've got an accessory called the Do It All handle, which has built-in Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and external microphone jack. So you don't. It's not got built in Wi-Fi out of the box. You have to buy a Do It All handle again, which is really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, they've had a year to be developing this and taking feedback on board. You know, why? Can you believe it? The battery is the same size, 875 milliamps. Same voltage, same size. I mean, I never had a problem with the battery personally, but you would have thought natural evolution would have meant smaller internals and a slightly bigger battery.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't go with the half-inch sensor and widen the handle a little bit to kind of accommodate and take that path. And then that would be typical of DJI, not to put them down, their stuff's amazing, but then all the old accessories wouldn't work. So it'd be a better business model. I'm surprised.
I am really, really surprised at that. Yeah, I'm just going to switch to the poll. Let's see what the public think with the poll at the moment. So right now, at the moment, it's very, very split between maybe and a yes. I'm just going to see if I can pull the guys in here as well somehow.
Your audio might not be up.
I think they can hear you now. Unfortunately, the video's not quite right, but yeah, I think DJI could have done a lot more with this. What do we see in the chat?
Well, looking in the chat, most people are just disappointed. It looks.
Yeah, it's I don't know if there's enough reach in the new product to sway people to part with their hard-earned money to upgrade.
Actually, somebody's saying we're not good. I'm not good with maths. I think you're right. I don't work in inches, so 1.1 over 1.7 is bigger than half an inch.
Yeah, it is.
I'm useless. Okay, so none of us realise that we're all useless with maths.
Well, that's good then.
I've just seen the 1.7 7-inch sensor. I was thinking that is bigger. It's the lack of Wi-Fi again. Every device you buy these days has built-in Wi-Fi. I mean, GoPros, everything. That Do It All handle does look interesting because it provides a bigger, longer grip, which might actually slightly balance it more. Because if you use larger gimbals, the weight does help in getting that sort of smooth, buttery smooth imagery. Whereas something this size, you do get the bobbing, and you can get one of those 4-axis jobbies.
The Z-axis, yeah.
The extra long handle, that might help slightly. That is interesting.
Yeah. It
does mean that you can connect a phone and use that as a reference screen with that accessory. But looking at it, the original Osmo Pocket accessories look to be compatible with this. I mean, it seems to be the same size ND filters. Might be wrong.
That's really good to see. I'm shocked at that.
But I wonder if that Do It All handle is backwards compatible. Probably not, knowing DJI, but it would be nice if it is. But I suspect they're going to want you to go out and buy the Osmo Pocket 2 to get that.
I would bank on that.
I don't own the Pocket. I at the time went with the Osmo Mobile 3 and was really disappointed with that. I mean, it works great. It does everything great. But one of the biggest features that I hate about it, or one of the things I hate about it, is you can't do low shots. the range of motion on the gimbal won't allow you to go down below your waist.
So holding
Instead
it
of the
like
cam-
this down, yeah.
Yeah, you can't hold it upside down. You can't do like with the Pocket. You can do the flashlight mode, so you can get really low with it. And that's the reason why I was really disappointed with the Mobile 3. So I'm kind of leaning toward getting this Pocket 2.
I'm curious about,
especially with the sensor.
Mike, you've just brought up something that kind of does bug me with the original Pocket, and that's the gimbal rotation. It's much greater when you pan to the right, like clockwise than counterclockwise. It's limited, and I've had it bottom out on me a few times and kind of mess up shots. Did they say in the specs that this thing rotates?
Let's have a look at that.
You know what I mean? Because like it'll turn.
Yeah. Right, I'll tell you.
One direction than the other.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, so controllable range in the original was minus 230, the same, to plus 50. Now we've got plus 70 degrees, so that the controllable range is higher, plus 70 degrees now. The tilt was minus 95 to 50, and now it's minus 100 to 50. So we have 5 additional degrees in tilt as well.
We'll take it.
Have you seen
panning? Sorry, panning is wider. Tilting is slightly 5 degrees wider, and in roll we've got plus or minus 45 degrees, so no difference in roll.
So it'd be nice if the pan was more balanced, I guess. It's just, but that's good. We'll take the extra degrees always.
Although actually that's the controllable range. So actually mechanical range, we have minus 250 to plus 90. I haven't got the mechanical range for the original Osmo Pocket, so it's interesting that they specify that for the new one but not the old one. Maybe that suggests that it's got more capability.
In the chat, Tech Life says he bought it already.
Good man.
If Mrs. Claus is watching, Mrs. Claus, are you there?
Yeah.
It is $20. It is $20 cheaper than the original, and interestingly, it's got a slightly wider angle by the looks of it. It's got a focal length of 20 millimeters, which is interesting, and the aperture is slightly better on its f1.8.
Oh, nice.
That's quite interesting as well. Better ISO range as well. Not that you'd want to use high ISO, that is, but better ISO.
Well, the higher aperture also means better night vision. So that's really good, because a lot of people complained about its performance at night. I have to say, I thought it was really good. Don't know if you guys have tested it at night, but it actually worked very, very well in my opinion.
I've had mixed results, honestly.
Will Stevens says that DJI has put out a second video also.
Have they? I just looked at 2 of them and they were very, very short. But this is the original Osmo Pocket at night, and it actually did pretty well there. You know, considering it was very, very dark, and you know, the grading I had to add in post, you know, was basic shadow boosting and, you know, highlights. But besides that, it did pretty well, I thought.
Well, with a larger sensor, should be even better.
Definitely.
I mean, when I first saw it, I never thought the sort of low light performance would be that great. I mean, look at the size of the thing. If you're buying something to that kind of size to use at night, maybe you need to sort of do a bit more research, in my opinion. But it's low. I agree with you, Ash. I thought the low light performance, considering how big the sensor was remarkably good, actually.
Yeah.
As long as you keep the ISO down, yeah. I've had really good results when I keep ISO 100 and make it work. Like up in Niagara Falls, Canada, I got some really good shots. And then there have been other times where I've been in a bar or something and just been atrocious. And I think it's my fault for letting the ISO bump up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's ultimately the Pocket's not designed. You know, I actually for a few videos used this as my presenting camera instead of using this SLR. And I was always really pleased with the result, but when you switch to using the SLR more often, the difference is night and day, literally. So I think for its purpose as a going on holiday, you can literally put this in your pocket. You can't put an SLR in your pocket. It's going to be great. The bigger sensor, better low light performance, brilliant. Battery, shame they didn't increase it. Wireless, it's a shame they didn't build it in. What about the wireless microphone? What do we see about that?
I'm looking at that now. It's I mean, you can get what they're calling the creator combo, and everything's bundled in that. And it looks like quite a good deal because, I mean, the do it all handle is $100 on its own. So, but I can't see much mention of the wireless microphone.
No, and there's no in the specifications. There's no mention of it here either. So that's quite strange.
Putting in
I
the
saw
picture of
a.
the picture of the accessories, you see a dead cat, but you don't see a microphone.
Right.
Well, no, there's a DJI. It's a bit like the wireless Ghost. It's slightly more sort of rectangle, but it's a very similar concept to the wireless Go from Rode. But looking at it, I'm not sure if you can then plug a lavalier mic into that, which would be pretty good. But looking at the imagery, I think you have to have the do-it-yourself handle in order to use the wireless microphone. Which again is like, DJI, why don't you just build this into the thing? I mean, make it slightly longer. It's fine.
It's tiny little Wi-Fi PCB. It's just also look at that still. I've just paused in one of the many videos now that are available. Look how tall the camera element is compared to the the camera element on the number one.
True.
That is sticking up. So imagine if you drop that one.
Oh, don't drop it.
No, but
it
there
needs
is.
The base will help too. If that accessory gives you a nice wide base to place it on a tabletop or whatever, that'll be helpful.
That's very true. Yeah, that's very true. Pro mode. This is just going through the pro mode features. There's a few videos, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen them, on the link in the video description that I'll put there. There are a number of videos that talk about the capabilities of it. So follow mode, unboxing as well. Follow mode might be an interesting one to see, actually. Whilst we're just going through that, just to say thank you everybody for tuning in so far. We've still got 200 people watching. Wow. Hit the thumbs up.
Awesome.
If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. Also, these guys over here, there they are brilliant, and they've all got their own channels as well. Take a look in the video description for links to their channels, and honestly support those guys by hitting subscribe, because they're just people like you on YouTube supporting content creators like me, by honestly bringing a lot to the back story here, behind the scenes, chatting with these guys in the club. So thank them by hitting subscribe on their channels as well. That'd be really good.
Can I just add that, I mean, I know Ash keeps saying this, but take it from me. When you join the club and getting on that Discord server, it's really cool because there's loads of people that share the same passions, and you can just geek out about it. And everybody,
so
everybody helps when you put a video out. So if you're a creator and you're just starting out, there's loads of tips because you can guarantee if you hit a problem, one of us has run into it at some point. And even if all of your equipment fails one day, which has happened to me on more than one occasion, you can go on there and rant about it, and there'll be people going, I know. So,
and we've done screen shares. One of the guys had a problem with his YouTube channel the other day, converting it to a brand account. We jumped into Discord, shared his screen, and we solved it. We're all, it's a little bit like, you might know everybody, Ken Heron's brilliant channel. I'm on his constructive criticism. It's a little bit like that behind the scenes here, where I'm helping my members and looking at their videos. But not only me, my members are looking at the other members' videos and giving really good feedback and input. So it's a really good community. Hit that join button. I want 2 more members during this stream. I'd really, really, really love that.
It is so helpful. Keith, you helped me a lot with Mike too. Everybody on the Discord has helped me with my videos when I share them up first unlisted and clean up some stuff that I just missed.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm a member on everybody's channel. I've joined them all. But I'll tell you this.
Yeah, me as well.
Nobody is as engaged as this channel is on Discord. Everybody's engaged on it. So there's all kinds of input, all kinds of conversations that are going on in order to help each other in their video making and their photography, their everything when it comes to doing droning or videos or YouTubing. So that's been really nice on this channel.
Yeah,
That's
it's a really special
really
channel,
good to
Ash.
Thank
Ash,
you,
it's
guys.
huge, man. No,
Anyway, enough of that
thank
sobs. Enough of that stuff.
we're not worthy.
We're not
Just have a look at this. Now, this is a shame as well. Why have they developed this module here for the tripod mount? Why not? I would happily have another few centimeters on the bottom of the Osmo Pocket and have a built-in tripod mount. than have to carry around another accessory with me. And this was a big complaint of the original Osmo Pocket, that everybody needed to buy so many accessories that you might as well have just bought an SLR that had it all built in.
You have to cart them all around, and then there's always the risk of loss. I've had my car eat stuff before, and I have to find it.
Exactly.
You keep them in the bag, but then you take them out to use them, and you're out traveling, and they just grow legs.
Yeah.
And also, I hope they've ramped up production of the accessories, because you could buy this day one. Getting any accessories for this took months. I think the Wi-Fi module, it was about 2 or 3 months after launch that it finally turned up.
That's right. Yeah.
And then the external audio, it was 5 months here, but I think it only. I got it about 3 weeks after it became available on the DJI website worldwide. So I mean, okay, if we have to buy accessories, fine. I mean, there is a good deal there on buying you get everything pretty much for the $500.
True.
But it better be all available now and not 6 months down the line.
Look at this. Isn't this exciting? The dynamic changing. You can vote on this, by the way, guys, via the link in the video description. But this is live right now. The yes and the maybes are so following each other closely, literally. All right. So I think, what time are we now? 3:22. I mean, I am. Let's go around the panel. Personally, I'm probably not going to buy one because I've got the Osmo Pocket 1. I think if I didn't have the Osmo Pocket 1, I would buy this one without doubt. Mike, what about you?
I'm still on the fence. You know, the Osmo Mobile 3, sorry, the 4, didn't really impress me much, and I've been waiting for this one to come out to see if it would impress me. I do appreciate the larger sensor. I'll tell you what, as a photographer, that's something that's very important to me. A lot of people, they don't care because they can't see the difference in quality. But as a photographer, I really do appreciate that. So I might end up getting it. I'm still in the maybe category. Yeah.
Chuck, how about you?
Well, having 2 Osmo Pockets already, it's a stretch to... I'm into redundancy. So anyway,
this guy's got about 5 Mavics of the same model.
I have 2 Mavic 2 Pros.
Only 2 Mavic 2 Pros.
I am not rich. I believe in redundancy.
Redundancy.
So
can you tell my wife that?
Redundancy. Well, we'll sell your wife on it. My wife's pretty cool about it. She's embraced the hobby, and the channel's improved dramatically with her engagement too.
Aww.
So the vlogging part of the new microphone setup, the wireless microphone, is as we're thinking about getting more into vlogging. Thank you, Casey Neesett.
Yeah.
I could see some value in that. So I'm on the fence as well. We'll see.
And Keith, how about you, mate?
I'm tempted because of the larger sensor. And I think because that Wi-Fi handle does allow external audio, so I think I could use that, and I think that would make my life somewhat easier, and I could carry on using an Osmo Pocket. I'm intrigued. I'm gonna wait a couple of weeks, because I always do with DJI products.
Exactly.
You know, the YouTubers that get it early never really tell you everything that's wrong with it, because I think they're kind of yes, you did. In fairness, you did.
Yep.
But yeah, they don't really tell you. So I'll wait a couple of weeks. I mean, in fairness to DJI, in the last few releases, they've been much better. So I'll probably wait a couple of weeks and then check it out. By the way, Ash, you've just got a new member.
You have a new member,
That is awesome. Solent Ships, congratulations. It must have been because I mentioned that my parents live in Port Solent, which might be where he's from. But thank you very much for becoming a member. You'll now immediately get a link to our private Discord server. It happens automatically, so just go and grab a link, have a look at that. But yeah, I think you guys, you know, what you've said is absolutely valid. There's they've spent time on some weird things here. For example, the power button, you might have noticed, is now on the side of it instead of being a multi-purpose single button. That to me is an accident waiting to happen, where you wanted to capture something on film and you accidentally turn it off because the power button's on the side. That seems like a very odd idea to me.
I think in theory, if you have the do-it-all handle, you're going to be holding it slightly further down. So I think that's their thinking. I think what they've done in a rather sneakily way is force you into buying this because one, it will, as I said, I think it's going to make it balance slightly better. But yeah, I know what you mean. If you don't buy it, yeah, you're gonna be sitting there getting that awesome once in a lifetime moment shot, and then it's going to switch off.
Exactly.
I'm worried about the power button being on the side just because out of my I'm a creature of habit. I'm so used to using the Pocket One. Now I'm going to go to power it up, and I'm going to miss the shot because the power button's by my thumb on the right side, my right hand, instead of on the face of it.
Yeah.
Like any other DJI product, doesn't this have the tap then hold to power on, power off?
No.
No?
Hold and power on, hold power off, like the smart controller.
Just to say as well, it's actually more expensive than the original, not cheaper.
I thought I saw it was more, because I just looked at a comparison and it was saying that the Pocket One is $369 and this is $349.
Is this from a pre-release review by any chance?
No, this is on the DJI website. Hang on.
Maybe that they had the price wrong. When DJI do send you products early, that you don't know the pricing at the time. So any articles written before launch can be out of date as soon as they're published. But the original...
No, there's a... Sorry, I was going to say there's a compare on here. And if you go to the compare, they've got the original one listed at $369, which it was at release. But it isn't that anymore.
Yeah, it was $349. I think now Right, so the original right now is $369 US dollars, and the new one is $349. Oh, so in dollars it's cheaper. In euros, the original is more expensive. We always get screwed over in Europe. So unfair. So in American dollars, the new Osmo Pocket 2 is cheaper. In euros, the new Osmo Pocket 2 is more expensive than the original.
Wonderful.
That's so unfair.
It's always the way, isn't it?
It is.
I don't know how much it's here. I won't give it you in Thai baht.
No, I don't want to know.
Oh, sorry.
All right, well that's the Osmo Pocket 2, folks. I mean, in very high level summary, it's got a wider FOV, which is one of the biggest complaints. It's got 4x digital zoom, which is nice if you're a creator that doesn't edit stuff in post. It's got a bigger sensor. We've been corrected. It's bigger than half-inch sensor. Sorry, our maths in inches are useless. I live in Sweden. We're metric here. It's got Active Track 3, and it's got some nice extra accessories. But besides that, I think in my conclusion really is if you have the Osmo Pocket 1, you don't really need to upgrade to this one. But if you haven't got the Osmo Pocket 1, the Osmo Pocket 1 is absolutely brilliant. And the Osmo Pocket 2 is even better. So if you have none of them, I think it's worth getting a Pocket 2. But that's the launch. I think, thank you to these guys around here. There is one more topic before we go, however, which is up-and-coming launches. Now, as we all saw, the FCC entries for what might be the Mavic Mini 2 popped up a few weeks ago, and that tells us that product is imminent, as was this, because the FCC entries for this appeared just recently as well. So I expect we might see the Mavic Mini in the next maybe 2-3 weeks time or something like that. That's going to be an interesting one. Which of you guys have got the Mavic Mini at the moment?
I do not. I do not because of the screw-on props, honestly. If DJI pulls quick release props and keeps it under 250 grams, my wallet is going to get loose in my pocket again.
I do have... Sorry, go on, Keith.
I was tempted when it came out, but I kind of decided to buy a house instead, which was kind of more important.
Mavic Mini or house?
I'd go with the house.
But,
I'll tell you what, it was really hard to pass up that Amazon Prime Day deal. But I did.
I am tempted if it's 4K. I have to admit I'm tempted. The only issue is that I've had a bad time with Wi-Fi drones.
Yeah,
now
me as
that
well.
I've got like the Mavic 2 and even the Mavic 2 Air. The transmission on that is just so solid.
Yeah, OcuSync 2 is where it's at. There's nothing better than OcuSync 2, period.
Yeah, I mean, here, the one thing about Thailand is that the mobile phone signal and Wi-Fi is really surprisingly very good, and it's everywhere, literally everywhere. So it does cause it can interfere, especially where I fly, even on the beach, because you're going to be next to a resort which is absolutely soaking up Wi-Fi, and it messes with the drone. So that's my only downside, but I might get it to play with and do a review on my channel, because I should really. I'll use that as the excuse when I buy it. Then when my wife starts telling me off, I'll use that. It's the YouTube channel, darling.
Well, I'm gonna promise to sell one of the Mavic 2s and then get the Mini, and then I'll let the wife control the Mini, because she's been dying to get more in the air. She landed spot on the first time. It was amazing.
I think it's the thing with the Mavic Mini is it really is portable. A bit like the Osmo Pocket versus your SLR. I can take the Mavic Mini out on a trip where I don't intend to fly a drone, but I want a drone with me that in case I want to fly it. If I do that with the Mavic 2 or even the Mavic Air 2, I've got to still carry something around that's quite heavy, batteries, controller, etc. But the Mavic Mini 2, you forget it's there. Sorry, the Mavic Mini, not Mavic Mini 2. I don't have that yet. But the Mavic Mini is so small and lightweight that you forget it's there. That's the key thing for me.
I can fly that in Canada as a U.S. citizen. I can't fly my Mavic. It's too heavy now.
Weight, yeah.
So there's a big plus when you travel. There's a lot of places, if you're under 249 grams or you're 249 or less, lighter, you can fly.
That's true.
The other thing that put me off it.
Awesome.
The other thing that's put me off the original is, although it's technically you don't have to register it, including here, trying to tell a Thai policeman with limited Thai that I don't have to register it, might be quite difficult. So, because I have all my registration papers whenever I go, just in case. And if I've only ever been stopped once. Actually, he didn't want to know whether I was legal or not. He wanted to buy it.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yes, really. I still worry for sort of legal things that it is, it's still a drone, and most people just think you have to register that. That's my only, and with the way drones are becoming by certain people in the public these days, it is a difficult one. But I have to admit, if they put 4K on that thing, I might be slightly tempted. But I would rather go for the at the moment. I would rather go for the smart controller. That's for me, because I'm fed up of plugging my phone in, because my phone overheats after about 5 minutes. So
and the smart controller is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
I can't tell you enough how good it is, and it's easy to dismiss it and say you don't need it or it's expensive. But once you have it, I can take one controller and fly my Mavic 2 Pro and my Mavic Air 2, and hopefully any forthcoming drone from DJI. And I love that. I don't need to carry.
It's so great.
Don't need to worry about. Yeah.
No, sorry, Ash.
No, I was just going to say, don't need to worry about my mobile phone or an incoming call. It's all separate, and I love that.
Exactly, and being able to connect more than one aircraft is super convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said.
I do like the portability of the drones, but I will admit that I'm slightly interested in if the Phantom 5 rumors are true, I am slightly interested in that, purely because of the quality of that camera. And
I'm wondering if they're going to come out with another Yugo.
Another one?
A Yugo?
The Yugo, yeah. Yeah. Well, you're wanting the Phantom 5. I mean, that's old technology.
Yeah, okay.
It's outdated.
I picked up on the
might as well buy a Yugo.
Oh, I see. I agree with you. I don't get the Phantom 5. I don't know why people are so excited about the Phantom 5. It's a big, clumsy, unaerodynamic drone that flies like a potato.
The thing that got me into drones, I've been in the videography a long time, but when the Mavic Pro came out in 16, I had one by 17. I was like, that's it. That's the one that I can carry with me on a trip with and go to carry it to Hawaii and unfold it and fly it. And
hang on, Chuck, did you just say you were 16 when the Mavic Pro came out?
No, I said in 2016 the Mavic Pro came out. I wish I was. No, I wish I was. No.
Boy, it's been a rough few years.
Yeah, right.
2020 was not kind to you.
It's a good thing we're all friends here, gents.
Definitely. Killing Fields says 4K, so 2019. Now, I agree, but for something like the Mavic Mini, your professional videographer is not shooting their real estate photos on a Mavic Mini. It's for people who want to have fun and go and capture something. Having 4K on the Mavic Mini would be lovely. I wouldn't need any more on the Mavic Mini, but I agree with you for the bigger drones, the bigger consumer. Mavic Air 2 really should have been 5K as a minimum, so that we can render at 4K and pan and scan and crop down a little bit if we need to.
Yeah, I'm worried about computer power to deal with more than 4K too. I had to step up my computer power for the Mavic 2 Pro unexpectedly. So that's an expense that can sneak up on you. And do you really need more than 4K for what we do?
Drone. No, exactly.
I would argue that most people don't need 4K full stop, because who can watch in true 4K? A lot of people still don't own 4K TVs. They certainly don't own monitors that can do proper 4K.
That's true.
A lot of people watch YouTube on their mobile phones and their iPads, and other tablet devices. They don't do 4K either. So there's a snobbery around 4K, and most people don't use it. I mean, and actually 4K is nowhere near as advanced as people think they are. A lot of cameras say they have 4K, but you find that a hell of a lot of the features don't work in 4K. I ran into a very big problem with my A6400 because it doesn't do face tracking in 4K. But I would argue that I have not made the switch to doing 4K videos yet on my channel, purely because I just don't think there's a need to. You have to have a much more serious computer to do it. You have to, there's loads of things around it.
Let me just give you a point though there. There is a tip that ties directly into what you just said. On YouTube favors 4K videos in search results. So that if there's any motivation to render in 4K, even if you shoot in 1080p and upscale it to 4K, which I did for a long time before I bought my 90D Canon, you get more traffic, because in a search result, it will recommend a 4K video over a 1080 or lower.
Well, there's my excuse to buy the A6600 that does 4K face tracking. Cheers, mate.
There we go.
The computational power is an issue, but having 8K means you can crop, and then your face tracking will work, because you need those pixels to be able to shift the image around. You can't have all 4K. You have to have that mobility, like the Spark did.
If you're getting into 8K territory, you have to have a serious machine to run that.
You do.
Or be prepared to sit there for hours on end while it renders.
I have the Evo 2 Pro, and I don't even shoot 6K. It has a 6K capability, but I still shoot 4K because I just don't see the reason why, because it looks so good 4K. And yeah, exactly that if I shoot 6K, my computer is going to probably turn into a nuclear bomb.
Gonna get warm. Certainly gonna get warm.
Yeah.
Will Stevens says Mavic Mini will have OcuSync. I mean, we don't know that yet. Olof Brandt, one of our brilliant members, also Swedish-based, I'm biased, said that 4K for sure, OcuSync maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's if it's got OcuSync, it's going to be the ultimate travel drone. It really will.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know if you OcuSync and keep it under 250 grams, though. That would be impressive.
Challenging. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Take my money, DJI, if you do that.
But even if it's not, even if it's not, and you have to register it, and I know that the fact that it's under that weight is its selling point. But if it has built-in OcuSync and 4K and it's kind of that size, yeah, I wouldn't care if you have to register it or not. Have my money for it. Exactly. I think you're right, Ash. That would be the ultimate travel drone. There would just be nothing near it.
Yeah,
Flight 101 is in the chat. He doesn't appreciate us bashing the Phantom.
Hey!
I didn't bash the Phantom. I want one.
I flew with two guys with Phantoms on Saturday on a site. They just happened to be there with me, and their comment on the Mavic 2 was, "Man, that's so much easier to pack and travel around." So I have to carry a suitcase. That's the only drawback.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm interested in the Phantom 5 is the camera on it. That's the thing. I know it flies like a flying potato. I get that, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking about doing a bit more in FPV. So for the flying stuff, I'll do some FPV, and I want to get into the sort of cinematic FPV stuff. But for capturing that shot, and especially photography, which is another interest of mine. I think the Phantom 5 could be, if they're going to put a decent camera on there, a contender.
Let me ask you
especially
this.
I don't know why people are so excited about interchangeable lenses, because nobody's going to be. I hate landing just to change a filter, let alone an entire camera. Sorry,
if you're doing, go on, Mike.
Let me ask you this though. You know, the Phantom 5, if it does come out, will probably come out sometime around the same time that the Mavic 3 will come out. And do you think that the Phantom 5 will have a better camera than the Mavic 3? Because, you know, the Mavic 3 is going to have an awesome camera, because they're going to have to outdo the Evo 2 Pro. They're going to have to outdo it. So what kind of camera could they possibly put on the Phantom that's going to be better? Unless it's
Ashley's going to shoot me down here, but interchangeable lenses when you're filming video, granted, it's a fact. But when you're doing photography and you're trying to capture that thing, you go through that pain, because you're taking pictures. It's not about, to me, it would be more of a photography drone than a videography drone. And having that heavier weight means that you can get those slightly long exposure shots down on beaches and get that whispery sort of ethereal effect. And for me, I've got an interest in that. And I think they could, interchangeable lenses, having different focal lengths, having different apertures and that kind of thing, that's an interest to me from a photography perspective, not a videography perspective. If I'm doing video, it's the Mavic all the way.
But this is the thing, Keith, and this is the problem. People if you give an SLR to somebody, they're not going to just take great photos better than somebody with a mobile phone. It's about who's operating the device as to the end result. And I can give a Mavic Mini to somebody and a Phantom 4 V2 Pro, and I guarantee that if I give the Mavic Mini to the guy that knows how to use a camera, knows how to edit that video in post, their output will be far better, regardless of how good the camera might be on the Phantom. So it's not about the drone, it's not about the camera, it's about who's post-processing it.
I agree. I agree with you. But sorry,
you got your next member.
Yay! Thank you, Philip Kosher. I wish I had a sound effect. How about?
Welcome.
We got all of our new members during this stream. That is awesome. Thank you very much, Philip. And you know what? For the next stream, I'll get a sound effect board, especially for you, okay? Join us in Discord now. We'll have a laugh now that you're there.
The only thing I will say is that, but you speak to that person who's taken that shot with a Mavic Mini and then give him a Phantom or something.
Oh yeah,
get a more amazing shot. You see, when I said this in a video when I reviewed the Mavic 2 after I got the zoom, and it's great for video. And I've got some amazing pictures with it, but I know what I could do with that Pro camera now that I know what I'm doing, and it's like, I want the Pro camera.
It's easy to change. Just buy the camera. You can,
yes, and that's
screws.
Exactly what I'm doing.
I did it. It's so easy.
Yeah, you've sold me, Ash, and possibly got me a divorce, but that's
walk you through it, man.
I'm definitely doing it.
Guys, we're gonna wrap up shortly. I'm just gonna say, I'm just on the FAQ page on the DJI website. This is interesting. So, although there's no mention of it on the specification page, oddly, the FAQ does tell us that it has 4 microphones and a new DJI Matrix stereo feature with wind noise reduction, which I hope is better, because that was terrible on this. It made a really horrible sounding effect. I also hope the audio overall is better on the Pocket 2, because I actually produced a video about how to improve Osmo Pocket audio, because people just hated it. The audio was terrible unless you tweaked it, and in every post-production video I do, I've had to tweak the audio as per the guide I've put out there. So it'll be interesting to see what the audio sounds like. Remember as well, guys, when you watch these reviews from the Casey Neistat's, the iJustine, she's great to watch, but she is a marketing object. You know, I'm sorry to say it, but the reviews from a lot of YouTubers are... DJI have stopped sending pre-release products to smaller channels like me now, because we give objective, constructive reviews. They're real reviews. They're not just, unfortunately. So when you watch those reviews, just remember that things are heavily edited, audio and video. And sadly, that is the case. In video reviews like ours, you get things much rawer. So perhaps wait until the real reviews come out. Don't just buy from the big million subscriber channels, because those reviews are not always the reality, sadly.
I totally 100% agree with you on that. Totally.
Yeah. Not that I'm at all bitter, but
oh, come on, you. I mean, I think when you got the original, didn't you get quite a bump off that?
a what?
A bump of subscribers. You got quite a lot of people.
Yeah. I was sat in an airport lounge waiting to board a flight, and I put the reviews live because you're not allowed to put them live until the release time, and they were the most popular videos I think I've ever produced. So yeah,
I have to say, and I'm not just blowing smoke. They were among the best out there. You were really thorough with it. They were the ones that I genuinely thought were at least honest.
I'd agree. I think that's why DJI didn't send Ash an Osmo Pocket 2. But but I appreciate your transparency, Ash. Honestly, it's super helpful to us creators. Yeah. That's what we need to know. We see the whiz bang polished reviews up front, and we know that the product is great, but not unless you're really good at post work.
Yeah,
for the regular guy, the regular creator, like many of us are. We need to see what you share.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed reviewing it, and I think it's just a shame that they're not supporting the smaller YouTubers anymore. But it is what it is. I think we'll have to call it a wrap now. We've still got 122 people watching. Wow. I thought that would be our peak, but we hit 300 concurrent viewers during the stream. So just to say thank you massively to everybody that's watched. Thank you to all of our new club members as well. If you've not joined yet, these guys are my club members, and as part of the perk of joining, you guys get to join me on streams. You get to, I feature your channels and I share your videos on my community tab of 36,000 members, 36,000 subscribers. And not only that, but we have built genuinely a really fun community. And this isn't the first time we've spoken. I've been chatting to these guys for weeks because they never shut up. They drive me mad. They're pinging me on Discord day and night.
Some guy named Ash wakes me up at 4:50 in the morning Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah.
It's both ways, man.
I'm the problem. No, you're right.
No.
This is not.
All good.
What I'm making sure of here is that the DroningON Club is not a one-way relationship, and it's very much two-way. It's absolutely brilliant, and everyone helps everybody, and it's not me at the helm here. We're all equal, and everybody's providing feedback to everybody else, and I love that. So if you haven't joined yet, hit that button. We hit our goal, though, I think of at least 5 members during this stream, so that's incredible as well.
Sweet.
Yeah. So thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, and please support these guys as well by clicking the links in the video description. Join their brilliant channels. If you love beautiful scenery, visit Chuck's. If you like ships, visit Mike. And if you like tech and gadget reviews, then have a look at K-Spots as well, Keeps, because they're all really, really good channels. And support those guys because they've taken their time out to do this, and it's pretty late. We've got a guy in Thailand, a guy in America, 2 guys in America.
Yeah.
So time zone wise, this has been a heavy day for these guys. So say thanks by hitting that subscribe on their channels as well. That's it, really. Do you guys want to say goodbye? Because I'm going to get rid of you now, and so I can say goodbye properly.
I want to say thanks again, Ash, for doing this for us. It means a lot to me personally, and I'm sure the other guys would agree.
Oh,
it's really serious.
Yeah, thank you. And Mike, thank you. Honestly, really, really appreciate it.
I can't tell you that having that Discord server, it's such a cool thing. Just being able to geek out with you guys. And I think, it looks like I've made some new friends on this, and it's awesome. It's nice to be part of a community or thing, similar interests, and you get good, honest feedback. I think it's wonderful. So welcome to all new members.
Join up. It's so fun. I talk to Keith in Thailand. I talk to Mike on the left coast of the United States, and Ash is in Sweden, and there are guys all over the world we get to talk to. And my drone does not have enough battery to get across the pond. but with Discord, you can. It's so cool.
And by watching each other's, I was just going to say, by watching each other's videos, you get inspired as well. Mike's video on the boats is awesome. I love that video.
Hopefully it's really nice for you guys to see these guys there and which side down there, and as well Keith, you know, because these guys have been commenting on my channel ever since the very, very early days, and I remember their names: Mike Miller, Chuck Kovac, mainly because they both sound like stuntmen in Hollywood. Chuck Kovac and Mike Miller. And you just remember people's names, and that's why I'm so proud to have all of these three guys as members. But anyway, thank you very much, guys. Do you want to say a quick goodbye? Give a quick wave.
Can I just say I interrupted Mike because he wanted to just say...
Sorry, Mike. Yeah, go on, Mike.
No, I was just going to basically echo what the other guy said. I really appreciate Ash's engagement with all the members on the channel and also all the members' engagement. And I'll tell you what, it is a worldwide membership thing here. So at any time of the day or night, you're going to find my phone pinging. Especially in the middle of the night, my phone is pinging because somebody's engaged in some conversation. So again, yeah,
sorry.
All
right, guys, thank you very much for joining. So that is it, really, for the DJI launch. It's been a really, really exciting, time, and we've seen these new products, and hopefully we're going to get more of a look at these products now as the videos start to come out from the channels all over the place on YouTube, and the bigger YouTubers who of course get them long time in advance. But comment below with your thoughts about the Osmo Pocket 2. What do you think? Are you going to buy one? And if you are, why? Thank you for watching. Hit subscribe and see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.